Bună ziua și bine ați venit la 360 de grade. Astăzi vom vorbi despre utilizarea altei surse de alimentație care este necesară omului pentru a fi mai sănătos și mai ferit de boli. Alături de noi în platou astăzi avem un maestru spiritual care din anul 1993 se hrănește exclusiv cu prana și cu apă, fără alimente, Jasmuhin. Jasmuhin, welcome in our country.
Thank you, it's wonderful to be here.
Yes. Jasmuhin, you are Ambassador of Peace, author of 24 books of metaphysics, pioneer in prana program, international lecturer, publisher and filmmaker. Can you tell us what do we need to be successfully fed by prana? Is it so difficult? Because
look, it's an unusual idea for the West, and of course many people are very skeptical. But when people look at spirituality in other countries like India, suddenly the idea of living on prana becomes more possible, particularly if that person is a yogi. So I spent like 22 years living a yogi lifestyle before I came into this gift, you could say. And it's a gift that everybody can access as they align themselves more with what Jesus said is the kingdom of heaven within. And Buddha calls the pure land, and others just call the God force or the essence. And you know, this is this energy that's breathing everybody. It's with us every moment. But in the West, we're not educated to understand its love, its wisdom, its power. People think, oh, that's something religious, and I'm not religious. But it's just an energy force. And as it's breathing us, giving us life, it can be a strong force if we focus upon it, if we really meditate on it, if we align with it. Or it can be a weak force if we allow ourselves to get too caught up in the external world. And that happens, you know, you're busy being married maybe, or having babies, or a career, or education. And in the West, we're not given easy pathways to access this essence, this divine force within, yet in India and places like that we are. So it's just a slightly different cultural paradigm, and with education, which is our role, people can be educated to understand how to access more prana, how to align more with the kingdom of heaven within, and how to experience all the benefits that this brings. And one of the gifts is that we have freedom of choice if we want to take physical body nourishment from food, as we usually do, or from cosmic particles or cosmic microfood, which is an alternate source.
so it's not impossible. It's a necessity to feed ourselves, but it's not impossible to try to be fed more by this prana. You teach us to be an example of master in form, to radiate our love, to radiate our wisdom. How simple is it?
First, it's
what does this mean, to radiate our wisdom and our love?
I think, you know, for people watching, first it's a decision. It really begins with a decision. Sometimes life is really tough and people can't find a consistent way of being happy.
And they say I cannot manage.
Yeah, or a consistent way of being peaceful. They might have snatches, little bits of this in their life, or with grace. And grace is that energy of synchronicity where everything flows so nicely. And most people get a little taste of that in life. And when they do, they go, oh, I want more. I like that. It's easy. There's synchronicity. And so we need to learn pathways to allow the grace to flow more. And to me, it's just an alignment. And everyone has this pure and perfect energy pool within them that is that very force that's breathing them. So when we turn our attention inward and we meditate upon it, universal law applies, which says whatever we focus on blossoms and grows and becomes stronger and more real. So when we focus on what's wrong with the world, what's wrong with us, on our personality self level, there's lots to find, because we all have these crazy little personalities that are quite unique. But we have beyond that this pure essence that is so wise and so loving, and it's in all of our cellular structure. It's the very fabric of creation. It's like this dress.
Yes, exactly.
Without the material, we couldn't have the pattern. And so every life form is just a pattern in the fabric of creation. Now that pattern is either harmonious or disharmonious. when we meditate, live the lifestyle we recommend, then you start to tune to another pattern, the actual underlying pattern of creation, and then it becomes more evident in your life. It rises through you, it lights you up, it makes you happy and healthy, and that's what you radiate.
Yes.
So instead of radiating crazy confusion of monkey mind or, you know, your personality self, that has its limitations, although it's valuable too, you step back into another aspect of yourself, and when it rises like champagne in your being, it just radiates through you, and you can see it in people's eyes, you can feel it in their energy. They're just peaceful, loving, happy, compassionate, healthy people who have a lot more freedom because of the part of themselves they're identifying with.
So this is the divine one within.
Yeah, but we used to call him, I've written many books, actually 35. You know, it's the very essence of all of creation, and it comes to us as a pulse of love, and it fills our body with light, and it talks to us, giving great wisdom when we listen. And people have this, you know, they listen to this intuitive voice.
Yes.
When they do,
more and more lately.
And when they do, life's easy, and when they ignore it, life's not so easy.
Yes, exactly.
You know, it's like the voice that says when you're walking out of a room, bring your umbrella, and you look and it's sunny and you go, don't need it, and then an hour later it's raining.
Yes.
Simple voice.
You said a very interesting thing, that if you are in your mastery, you can be everywhere with everyone. Because you told us about some people, many people, who said that they are annoyed by somebody else, by their relatives or by their friends. But if you are okay with you, if you are in you, if you're relating, you can be okay with everyone.
That's true. You know, if you're relating from your outer energy pool, which is your personality self, your ego, your judgment, then it's easy.
Yes, your judgment,
It's easy to respond negatively to situations. And then when you start to meditate and you become more aligned to your essence, you do become sensitive, and you do feel other people's energies quite strongly, and so it can be natural to feel like you want to withdraw. It's a stage people go through, that they want to conserve their energy and not pollute it, as they would say.
And yet by energy.
But when you go deeper again, you come into such oneness with your own essence that it doesn't matter where you are, because you've trained yourself to see the good in all. You've trained yourself to see the God in all. And you know that you are being nourished by this eternal, infinite, loving, wise energy that as it moves through you, it feeds you physically, emotionally, mentally, spiritually, and then it radiates out through you to feed anyone who's open to that frequency. And so there, you can be anywhere, in any situation, with anyone, and it's okay.
It's okay, you are not disturbed by their problems.
No, you're not disturbed, because you're anchored in your true nature.
Yes, you are in your own love and in your own solitude, but this divine one within is activated once you start to ask yourself, who am I? What am I doing on this earth?
And that is
what's wrong with me?
Look, that's the beginning point that people get to. It's like, I was raised with a very loving family, and I had a very good childhood, lots of brothers and sisters, fighting sometimes, but it was a good upbringing. But I still had this intuitive call that I was hungry for something, but I didn't know what. And that's inbuilt into everybody, because it's like this essence is just bubbling within you, letting you play in the playground of life. And so you can find the perfect partner or not, you can make lots of money or not, you can create all sorts of things in this world. But even when you have all of that, there's this little part that goes, psst, there's more. And so there, you come to a point where you go, well, who am I really? Am I just my personality? Am I the way I look? Am I from this culture or family? Is there more to me, to life? If I need healing, I want to be able to hear its voice and always walk the perfect path for me. Or then to another level, I want to make sure that everything about my being is beneficial for this world. And that takes it to a service level, to another level again. And this divine essence says, no problem. Because if what you're asking for is beneficial for the world, it will rise and support you.
I understand that you have come in Romania for 5 times.
Yeah, I love it. I love
Yes.
it. I love the Romanian people. I really do. They're so good in their heart, and they really apply the things we share, and their lives change. It's really nice to be here.
But do you sense a difference in point of spirituality in Romania?
I do. Because of what we've just said, I find it in a lot of ex-Eastern Bloc countries,
Yes.
because people were not allowed to express their spirituality for a long time, or not allowed to attend to their religion. It went very much underground, and it
Yes.
went also very deep in them. So they ended up having a very private inner plane connection. We have
Yes.
the internet and we have the internet, and this spiritual faith, this trust, this hunger went very, very deep. And so the people here have a deep, deep spirituality. For me, it's a very loving energy to come into.
Yes.
Yeah.
If this pranic living is not a diet, so what is it?
It's a lifestyle.
Yes.
Pranic, when I talk about pranic living in my work, it's just about opening up to all the gifts that our essence has for us.
Yes.
So it's like Jesus talks about the entry into the kingdom of heaven, or the Buddha, the Pure Land, as we said. But once you gain entry, what's there? So many gifts. Clairvoyance, clairaudience,
Yes.
clairsentience, the ability to let energy flow through, to heal at a touch, if that's the gift.
You discover
that is
them
for
after.
You. Yeah, they're there for us. And then also the gift to be nourished in a different way.
Yes.
And you can take physical food. People like to do that. Even though they're being nourished by prana, it's
Even
still a
if
pleasure.
Maybe not for the first time by prana. I understand it's longer.
Well, we like,
way.
Yeah, we like people to get aligned to the frequency, to test their prana percentage,
Yes.
and you can find that out quite easily with the techniques we share. And if you have 100% pranic flow, because you're a kind, compassionate, warm-hearted person, you're living a deeply spiritual life, and your body confirms that it is magnetizing a strong enough flow to be nourished in that way, then people have choice. We recommend they go for about 6 months without taking physical food, so that they can prove to them it's possible. Because once you've proven it to you, you are free. You don't have to prove it to anybody
Yes, you have
else.
the power.
You have the power. Like, I get a lot of negativity in the past, not so much anymore, from the media, when this first came into the Western world, because they just hadn't had the education to understand the
Yes.
possibility. But for me, it wasn't difficult to deal with, because when you're so rooted, so grounded in an experience that's so real for you, no one can ever take that away. The very first day I sat down to meditate, I was like 16, I just learned ancient yogic techniques. My whole body exploded in light. My whole body exploded with so much love. And no one can ever take that away from me, because in that moment, in those moments, I knew who I really was. And see, it doesn't matter what people say then. Once you've experienced, you know. You may not be able to explain what you know, but you know
Yes.
that you know it, because it's so real for you. And it's the same with living on prana, that every cell of my body knows that it can be nourished in this way, and is nourished in this way. So I can have the odd cappuccino if I like, and it's
Yeah.
not a problem for me, I can eat for pleasure if I wanted
Yes,
to.
from time to time.
Yeah, but my body doesn't particularly like it. It functions much better purely on prana. Yeah.
And how difficult it was or in the beginning to start this prana program?
Well, I think it's important that people understand too, and I share this with many, that it was never a goal. My goal originally was to come into a
Yes.
state of divine marriage with my essence. And so I was led to do a particular spiritual initiation, one of many I've done in my life as a yogini. And the end result of that initiation for me was that I had no hunger anymore. I had no physical hunger, I had no
Not at
emotional
all?
hunger, no mental hunger, no spiritual hunger, because it was a shift in frequency. Suddenly I was just in a more expanded state of consciousness. And for me it was hard to deal with the fact that I didn't need physical food. It wasn't a desired goal I wished to attain. It was a byproduct of a spiritual initiation where my motivation was to merge more with my essence. And so in the beginning it was a bit of a shock, and then people would react. They'd go, "You're never eating, why not? What's wrong with you?" And I'd have to say, "Well, I don't need it, I'm just not hungry anymore." And it took a while for my weight to stabilize, because I had an idea that if I wasn't eating, that maybe I would lose weight, until I realized that this is not my body, this is the body of my essence. So if I surrender my body to the Atman, that's what the Indians call it, or the monad, or my essence, or the God within, and I just say to the God within, "This is your body. You make me the perfect weight you want me to be." And within 3 weeks, I put on 8 kilograms. No food. I've never been this big, ever. Even when I was highly pregnant with my babies, I weighed less than what I weigh now. And so that for me was a shock. That with a really strong, deep, pure-hearted command, this essence can completely shift your shape, your weight. Then dealing with the social reactions and people's disbelief, and then finding it was my blueprint to take this onto the global stage and to educate through using the world's media and to travel as much. And this was not something I ever wanted to do. I was always very, very shy. I was like, "Oh, not me." But as one of the holy ones I deal with said to me, he said, "Look, is this a truth for you?" And for me it was like, "Well, of course it is, you know it is." And he said, "Well, just one question. Knowing what you know, being able to do what you can do, could you live with yourself morally, knowing that every second a child is dying of hunger-related diseases, and you have a potential solution for this? What would you say?" So the shy person who never wanted to be on TV or travel or talk about this sort of went,
they motivated you.
It really put me in a position of no choice. It was like, okay,
you have to do this.
What do you want me to do? And then it was like, to talk to global media, because the media is a fabulous way for education quickly. You look at the movie Avatar.
Quickly,
What a change. 2 hours in the movie theater and everyone goes, "Oh, wow, these beings live in such harmony in the world, in their world. What an example. Could we live in harmony like they do with our Mother Earth? What does our Mother Earth need? Are we living in harmony with Mother Earth? Obviously not. We have global warming, we have violence, we have poverty, we have suffering. Are we in harmony? No. But as we come into divine marriage with our essence, we become peaceful people, we become compassionate people, we become harmonious people, and our energy radiation does affect others to do the same."
Do you know other people having the same prana program, the same pranic style?
I'm very blessed right now, because in the beginning, in the 90s, it was difficult for us, more so than now. And last year, or about 2 years ago, there was a beautiful documentary released in Europe, and it may come into Romania, and it was called "In the Beginning There Was Light." And there's so many people interviewed with that. We have about 40,000 people in the West now. That's a lot.
40,000?
About 40,000 in the
Doing
West.
this
they have freedom of choice now.
pranic program?
Yes, some people have one small meal once a month to be sociable because they like it. Some have one small meal just a week, a little bit of soup or salad with family.
Only prana and water.
Yes, but if there was no food, their body wouldn't die, because they are being nourished in a different way. And one of the biggest organizations with this is the people in Bigu within the Qigong network. They don't talk about it, they don't advertise it, but just through increasing their qi flow, which is prana, suddenly they have this freedom. And this is what the movie shows. The movie shows interviews with doctors, very skeptical, interviews with scientists, very skeptical, and then it goes on and interviews people in India doing this, in the Jain religion, the solar gazing people, the Qigong masters in China, myself and others. And it really ends up showing you the power of the mind and intention.
Yes.
You know, and the heart.
Mind over matter.
Mind over matter, but also the heart. Because for me, I live on Divine Mother Love. That's what I say.
Talking about this chi flow, how can we increase our personal, internal and external chi flow?
Easy to do, simply by lifestyle.
Yes.
See, what we spend our time doing determines the energy mix in our body. If you saw the body as an energy bowl, if you spend your time drinking lots of alcohol, maybe eating a lot of junk food, being cranky with everybody, hating your job, negative thinking all the time,
you're
hating, judging, and then you attract that same sort of chaos to you via the universal law of resonance.
And your body will react the same.
Well, your whole system is sparking with fragmented energy. It's a different frequency. It's like if I play on this piano, and I'm not a very good pianist, I'm learning, but I could play music that's very out of tune. And these things make the body system out of tune. But there's very simple ways to tune it, like meditation. Meditation brings the brainwave pattern from busyness, beta frequency, to alpha frequency. And all the research says that people who meditate are more creative, they're more detached, they're more able to act in life rather than react in life. They have a more calm energy if they're using good meditation techniques. Then we have the power of prayer. The power of prayer and divine communion opens the heart and fills it with devotion. We have the power or the life skill of mind mastery, of really understanding the power of positive thinking, a lighter diet, eating light, live, and less food, treating the body as a body temple, really loving it because it's like the Holy Grail that houses this beautiful spirit. Service, so important. To give without thought of reward, it puts people in the channel of kindness and compassion. Silence. People, you know, they say in the silence you hear the language of God. To be in silence, to be in nature, and also to listen to and sing devotional music. And this lifestyle changes the energy flow in the energy bowl. So suddenly, it's like right through you. It's just how you spend your time determines your frequency in the body, what energy you are transmitting, and then how the quantum field reacts to you. So if you want a good reaction and a life filled with grace, these are the 8 things that we recommend in my book, The Food of Gods, and the 4-Body Fitness book we also have, also in Romania. And it works. People end up physically fit, emotionally healthy, mentally healthy, and spiritually healthy. So it brings fitness on all levels. Even when they're still eating, they can still eat, but just eating live food with good life force, lightly, not much at all, and less. So light type foods. And then people go, oh, wow, I'm healed of this disease, or I'm just feeling so much better, and your rhythm as an energy system is harmonious. And then the universe responds with harmony back. No big, it's nothing complicated.
Yes. It seems that our planet will be influenced by an energy impulse during 2012. What are your predictions about 2012?
Look, it's been happening for a long time. We're on a different time zone now, and big changes started to happen in 2008. And I always see it like Mother Earth is like a big bear, and she's been hibernating, and now she's waking up. And there's things upon her that are irritating her, so she's scratching. You know, it's like a flea, like all the people who are living in a take, and abuse of Mother Earth. They're like little irritating fleas.
Only by taking, not giving.
Yes, because they're like a flea that's sucking blood, and it irritates Mother Earth. So she has a shake, which is an earthquake. And she has another wriggle, which is a movement of water, a flooding. So she's just coming into another octave of existence, another dimension of expression, because she's actually a cosmic being. So she is like a big bear that's been sleeping for a while. Now she's waking up, and anything that's irritating her, she's going to get rid of. So economic systems that don't operate for the good of all, political systems that don't operate for the good of all, medical systems or corporate systems, anything that's not operating for the good of everybody, Mother Earth doesn't like, because she's a mother and we're her children. We have these bodies because of her love. She gave us the elements, she gave us the molecules so our divine essence can experience life in this plane. She's quite protective. She says, hey children, stop this fighting, grow up now. And so there are many beings upon her that are very loving and very caring. They may not meditate, but they have big hearts, very compassionate, and they're not an irritation for her. So she's going to take them on a ride. She's going to move into a whole new level of expression, and people who choose love, and people who choose peace, and people who choose harmony, and people who are open to experience that, they'll have a smooth ride. And those who are running games of taking and greed, and that are not operating for the highest good of all, and well, they're going to have a different experience.
Yes, a tough one. Yes, yes.
So others just ending the irritation.
So people will get a high level of spiritual education during this period?
It's happening already. You know, like you look at your show, you know, here's a TV show that's dedicated to putting out positive information. And of course, some of the information people may be skeptical about. People have to blossom in their own way, in their own time. But the human heart has an amazing ability to love. And the human heart has an amazing ability to open to truth and to know truth when the mind gets out of the way, you know. And that's what the time's about now. It's about a divine marriage of head, good intelligence, good information, good education, which gives freedom of choice, and really also working with our heart, with our intuitive nature as well. You know, we saw at our seminar, somebody said to me yesterday, why are there so many women always in these events? Where are all the men? The men are coming, but the women tend to follow their intuitive nature more, which is that divine mother energy, which I love and our women love. They go more with their intuitive flow, and the men are starting to do this now too. You have to honor right brain activity and left brain activity, and that has to be in marriage too.
They are more skeptical, maybe.
Well, it's only through lack of education. It's just lack of education. We don't have to suffer in this world. You know, paradise is here now. We just have to be taught how to see it. You know, yes, there's chaos, but that's just beta frequency brainwave patterns. When you go into alpha frequency brainwave patterns, life's calmer, more harmonious. When you go into theta brainwave patterns, suddenly it's like, this world is so beautiful. Everyone I meet is so sweet. People are kind, they're compassionate. You do start to see the God in all, and you do start to see the good in all, but it's just a shift in brainwave patterns, which comes from lifestyle and intention. Just to say, show me heaven on earth. It's already here. Show me heaven on earth. Let me experience heaven on earth. Show me the God in all. Show me the good in all. Start to be grateful for all the wonderful things in our life. You know, wow, the sun's shining. How incredible after all this rain. Here's the sunshine. It's warm. Oh, a sunset. Isn't the sun beautiful? Oh, a baby I can hold and feel its purity and its love. My husband who I can adore and love and make love with. Ah, so many incredible things to be thankful for. You know, you're young, you're beautiful. Thank you for that. How incredible. As we age, we get wiser. Ah, thank you for that.
Yes.
So many things we can be really grateful for, and the more we're grateful in life, the more the quantum field and the universe delivers to our door to be grateful for. It's just science. It's the law of resonance attraction.
You told us about people receiving during this period this kind of paranormal qualities.
Yeah, people live on prana already. They just don't know they do. People have the pranic force already inside them, breathing them. People have all these abilities naturally. We've always had psychics. We've always had clairvoyance and clairaudience, but people have always thought they're special. They're gifted, and not all people who are psychic or clairvoyant are really living close to their essence. They can just be having this particular gift that's come down a family line or something. But when we come close to essence, see, I was in Colombia last year. We do a lot of work with the indigenous tribes and in India as well. And I was listening to a beautiful guru there from India who was visiting Colombia, and he's become a friend of mine. And somebody asked him about happiness, and how to be happy. And he said, you have everything already. It's just you either live close to your essence or far from your essence.
Yes.
When you live close,
it's up to you.
Yeah, when you live close to your essence, there is happiness, there is joy, there is gratitude, there is appreciation. So we already have these qualities, but we don't feel them because we live too far from our essence. We're too looking outside of ourselves into the external world, and we don't spend enough time in the internal world,
yes.
in the silence, just opening to being the essence we are. Because everyone has a very pure, perfect, enlightened part of themselves. It's just either being expressed through the way they live their lives, or it's not because of the way they live their lives. We change our lifestyle,
yes.
we become naturally clairvoyant, naturally clairaudient. This is a natural part of a human energy
yes,
system.
It's natural.
When it lives closer to its essence. It's just not focused on.
Yes.
It's attention.
Too much attention on external things.
Yeah, too much attention to the personality self. Too much attention to the ego. Too much attention to the culture.
What do you mean by personality?
The personality self is the one who is influenced culturally. So when we're born, I like this research. Dr. Bruce Lipton, please read his books. Wonderful man. He's a biologist, and one of his books is The Biology of Belief, but he's written more. But one of the things that he shared in a seminar I was watching on DVD recently, he said
yes.
between 0 and 2.
The purest.
The very slow,
Delta.
pure
yes.
frequency that a well-trained Buddhist monk goes into in meditation. He said from the age of 2 to 6, they go into theta frequency.
Yes.
So between 0 to 6, that's when they do all their learning. So much learning. They can learn multiple languages. They learn how to walk, to talk, to feed themselves, to dress themselves. Then all that changes after age 6, and they go into alpha brainwave pattern between 6 and 12. So they're still calmer and quite vulnerable and softer energy. Then we have teenage years from 12 on, hormonal shift, and then they can operate in all frequency. They go into busy beta brainwave frequency. They can also access theta and also the alpha levels and the delta levels, so we can have a different range. But from that period of 0 to 6, our children often aren't supported with Western education to maintain that deep spiritual connection they have. You know how children often say they have invisible friends? But then by the time we go into teenage years, we're being educated in a limited educational system of school, depending on our family patterns, depending on our experiences. You know, now there's so much bullying in schools. You know, that's really hard. My 8-year-old granddaughter, you know, she sometimes gets picked on at school because when she started school, she loved to hug everybody. And not everybody wants to be hugged. Yes. So they were really a bit, you know, she carries the Aboriginal bloodline, she's a little different, and they didn't understand her, so it was hard for her for a while. And so you tend, as you grow, to identify more with externals. You have your cultural influences, you have your traditions, you have your country influences, you have your genetic influences, you have past timeline influences, you have environmental influences, you have
yes.
school influences, and it's always pulling you out, and then that creates a personality. And that personality can have wounds. It can have issues of abandonment, or people not understanding, or feeling alone because you feel different. And so it's a very superficial layer of our beingness that can appeal quite real, because we're not taught how to disassociate from that, that it's not real, that it's just an illusion, and that there is another energy yes. within us that is very real and very knowledgeable and very wise and very loving.
I want to ask you something about the Yin-Yang imbalance.
Yeah.
And the reason for our depression.
Yeah. It's too much identification with the personality self and not enough identification with the divine self. See, we live in very religious cultures too, and our churches for a long time have not, I don't want to be negative in any way, but I don't think the pathways are given easily within religions to identify more with our own essence. Often the teachings and the pathways are that you have to go through an external entity like a priest or a guru or a wise one. And yet all the good priests and all the good gurus and all the good wise ones say, hey, you have that inside of you. Kingdom of heaven, the Pure Land is inside of you, and here is a special pathway that works for you to find that, to come back in identification. And yet for every human being, it really is just a matter of a sincere-hearted surrender to just say, show me who I really am. If the kingdom of heaven is within me, let me experience this. Clear the path for me, give me the clarity, give me good tools and techniques that work so that I can understand who I really am, that I'm not just my mind, I'm not just my emotions, and I'm not just this physical body, that there is something more to me that all the holy ones talk about. And if this is true and this is real, show me the perfect pathway for me. And when that comes from a deep, sincere heart, then this essence goes, okay, honey, you're ready to know? Here I am. And it might set up a meeting with a beautiful yoga teacher, or you might walk into a bookshop and a book falls off the shelf and hits you on the head and, you know, turns around and opens on the floor before you with a page with the perfect answer for you of something you're looking for.
Something paranormal.
This divine synchronicity. So for me, I see that all the problems in our world, the war, the violence, the chaos, the anorexia, the loneliness, the suffering, all of it comes because we're too disconnected from our essence. We live too far away from our essence. We don't identify enough with time, with our essence. We don't take the time to get to know our essence.
And this connection is the moment the illness
start
to appear.
Yes, because like even with the body consciousness, you know, if you really, really love your body, you nourish it. You can't just stop eating. If a normal person stops taking physical food, they'll become anorexic, they'll fast, the body will die.
Without this understanding.
You have to live a spiritual lifestyle. You have to allow yourself to fall in love with your essence. That's what it's about. It's falling in love with God. It's falling in love with the divine in everyone, in everything, including in you. And when you allow yourself to know it, when you ask first, to experience it, and then when you allow yourself to know it, to take the time to experience it, align with it, you're just not hungry anymore. You can't create disease as we know it unless there is a learning for you in the creation of the disease. See, some people will create a disease, as I've done in my life, and I've had to find the pathway out of it using alternate methods to then show others you can use these methods to come out of this state of disease. So we often, for me in my life, I have to live something, suffer a bit, learn the pathway out, and then when it works, I can share it with others. And then the universe will send me a lot of others who can benefit from what I've come to understand.
Yes, but it is so difficult to get rid of our passion of living.
But you know, we don't...
What is your advice for us?
Well, it's not about getting rid of your passion for living. We need a passion for living because that keeps us young.
A low passion for living.
Well, the passion for living in that, I think what you're saying is quick emotional body reaction to things, you know, that drag you down. Old patterns like suffering or jealousy or things like that. When you bring your brainwave patterns back to theta, you start to access, through meditation and the lifestyle we've shared, you start to access great levels of creativity within yourself. For me, I like it because I eat light, I eat physical light as prana, so my energy isn't involved in digestion, and so all this energy can be used for creativity. But just take time and think about the things you loved doing as a child. I thought about this years ago and I realized I love bike riding. Now, why wasn't I bike riding anymore? Crazy. As a kid, I used to love it. That's a passion in life, and it's a good passion because it exercises the body and gives you more energy. So we often say to people, go back to doing the things you loved as a child. I love listening to music, and so I listen to a lot of beautiful music because it's food for my heart. I love to paint. to paint beautiful pictures.
Yes.
You don't have to know how to paint. You can just
Yes.
have canvas and throw on color.
It's a
and
pleasure.
let your essence express through you, and it's a pleasure. And sometimes you do the most amazing things. Just to play on a piano, or now they have software program called GarageBand, and you can get it on your iPad, and you can be a musician. You can play piano, you can play all sorts of instruments just through touching on your iPad, and that is so much joy, and that is so much fun. You can dance. Dancing is so much joyous.
It's a kind of food.
It's a food. If you're
Yes.
a mother and you're feeling sad, put on great upbeat music and dance with your kids. If you're a mother and you want to, and you're feeling bored with always cooking
Or
and
sad.
making family meals, put on devotional music that makes your heart go ah. And as you play the music and you cook and you're making food for your family, you're infusing it with love. There's so much you can do just to bring back real passion for life as well. And as you come into the energy of joy and passion, your essence also becomes stronger, because its natural frequency is a frequency of celebrating life.
Yes.
Because it's so happy to be here. Our essence loves to experience this physical world. Wow, we have bodies. We can smell, we can see, we can hear, we can touch, we can love. We have this incredible human heart. The question is really, how do you want to express the human heart? Do you want to be locked into patterns of jealousy and greed and loneliness and suffering? Or can you get to a point in your life and say, enough, enough. We did this yesterday with the audience, and because a lot of people suffer in countries with strong religion that has created separation. Yes. There are religions that say there is good and there is evil, and you are a sinner and you must suffer, and all of this. So that's in the human psyche in some countries. And so one of the techniques, first, you make the decision that from now on you will live your life with joy and ease and grace, no more suffering. And then you go, you kiss, and you say, I kiss my suffering goodbye. I kiss my suffering goodbye. Kiss my suffering goodbye. The audience were laughing and doing it, and it's like it can be that easy. The decision, no more, no more, no more war, no more violence, no more poverty, no more chaos. We, the people of planet Earth, we claim our right to live in peace. From this moment on, I'm asking the quantum field of infinite intelligence, teach me the path of joy, teach me the path of unconditional love, teach me how to live in harmony with my family, teach me the rhythm of health on all levels of my being, teach me the rhythm of happiness, teach me how to be in harmony within myself and with all other people, teach me how to have mutually beneficial relationships. This is what I claim,
Yes.
This is what I want, I'm open, I'm ready. Now, easy. Forget the rest. Forget the politicians. Forget the chaos. Forget the governments. They don't have the power. The people have the power, because we have God inside, because we have pure essence, which is the best teacher, the best master. When we ask with a sincere heart for it to reveal itself and all its gifts, it happens.
So laughing, also singing, are ways to get rid of this sadness, because sadness is one of people's problem.
But you know, you can sing with your sadness too. Like many people in these countries and myself, I love Mother Mary. And so I sing to her Ave Maria from my heart of hearts. I'm not a particularly good singer, but I still sing. And everyone can do that, you know, just like Ave Maria, sad, but with love. Mother Mary, I love you. I need your help. I need your compassion. With this song, I pray to you Bring me what I need to create a healthy home, to take care of my children, everything I need, I love you. And Mother Mary, her energy just comes straight in and begins to overlight us and take care of us and guide us. It's a song that comes from sadness, but it's a song of prayer that we need. And sometimes a human being has to reach rock bottom and really, really suffer enough to come into that place of sincere-hearted surrender where they say, enough, it's time to change.
Enough and goodbye.
Enough, enough, goodbye.
Thank you very much for your presence here, and we hope that we will have in our lives better things now on. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Îi mulțumim lui Jasmuhin pentru prezența în emisiunea noastră, iar pe dumneavoastră vă așteptăm cu drag și sâmbăta următoare. Până atunci, alege să nu te pierzi și privește lumea detașându-te de ea. O săptămână minunată. La revedere!